The average McDonald's customer visits 54 times a year. That's basically having Ronald McDonald as your personal chef for almost 2 months straight, and we're not talking about a small group of people here. 87% of American households walk through those golden arches at least once in the last 12 months. That's 9 out of 10 American families. Now think about what that actually means. Before most children can even read, they can recognize the McDonald's logo. Before they know what a mortgage is, they already have brand loyalty baked into their brain. And before you reach for those car keys for your next drive-through run, there's something every single one of those people deserves to know. Because we've all been conditioned to see those red and yellow arches as comfort and convenience. What we haven't been told is what's actually happening behind them, so buckle up. Because once you see this, you can't unsee it. Here's what gets me about the McDonald's burger situation. My buddy Jake, perfectly normal guy, works in IT, not a scientist, found a McDonald's cheeseburger he'd left in his gym bag. It had been sitting there for 3 weeks. He called me over, no mold. No smell. No sign that time had touched it at all. His gym bag smelled worse than the burger. That's not a normal food experience. That's something else entirely. Here's the wild part, this isn't even unusual. An Icelandic hostel owner bought a McDonald's meal in 2009, when the last McDonald's in Iceland closed down. He kept it. For over 10 years, he streamed it live on the internet. People watched a burger and fries sit in a glass case, gathering dust, looking almost exactly as they did the day they were made. That burger has probably been seen by more people than most local news anchors. Now, a food scientist explained exactly why this happens, and here's where it gets interesting. Because the real answer is actually more unsettling than chemicals. McDonald's burger patties are thin, cooked at extremely high heat, and salted immediately after cooking. That process strips out moisture at a rate faster than bacteria can colonize the surface. Without moisture, bacteria and mold have nothing to work with. The burger doesn't rot, it mummifies. It desiccates so quickly that decay never gets the chance to start. Read that again, the burger dries out faster than nature can break it down. McDonald's themselves confirmed this. In a public statement they said, and I quote, "In the right environment, our burgers, like most other foods, could decompose. Their patties contain no added preservatives. Just salt and pepper. But the engineering of the cooking process itself creates something that behaves like it has been preserved." A food scientist at Serious Eats replicated this experiment using homemade thin patties of the same dimensions. Same result. No mold. The burgers just hardened and stayed. It's not magic ingredients. It's a manufacturing process so precisely tuned that it accidentally stumbled onto its own form of food preservation. Real food isn't supposed to work like that, and yet here we are watching a 10-year-old burger on webcam. But if you think the burger situation is strange, wait until you hear what McDonald's calls their healthy options. Here's the thing about McDonald's salads. They are not on the menu for people who want to eat healthy. They are on the menu to stop healthy people from vetoing McDonald's for the whole group. My co-worker Lisa decided to make better choices last spring. She'd been going to McDonald's for years but wanted to cut calories. So every single day she switched to a salad. She felt responsible. She felt disciplined. 6 weeks later she stepped on the scale, nothing had changed. She pulled up the nutrition information. Her crispy chicken salad with dressing was clocking in at over 700 calories and more than 1,300 milligrams of sodium. A regular Big Mac is 563 calories. She had been eating more calories than a Big Mac every single day, while thinking she was making the healthy choice. That's not a mistake. That's a design decision. A marketing researcher explained the psychology to me. And it's honestly brilliant in a deeply cynical way. McDonald's knows that in any group of 5 people, there's usually one person who'd prefer not to eat fast food. That person is the veto vote. Salads exist specifically to neutralize that veto. We have salads, conflict resolved. The health-conscious person orders something they believe is virtuous, the whole group eats at McDonald's, and the company wins on both ends of the transaction. Picture this. You're trying to eat well. You're proud of the choice you made. You finish your salad feeling genuinely good about yourself. You've just consumed more calories than the burger you talked yourself out of ordering. McDonald's designed that outcome. It's like putting a treadmill in a candy store. It's not there for you to use. It's there to make you feel better about buying the candy. A nutritionist said it plainly. If you genuinely want to eat healthy at McDonald's, your best option is a burger without the bun, no fries, and water. At that point you might as well just eat at home and stare at the wall. At least you'd save $15. And if you're thinking breakfast is the safer bet, we need to talk about the eggs. Here's something that'll ruin your morning commute. McDonald's serves 4 different types of eggs for breakfast. And only one of them is actually cracked fresh in the restaurant. That one is the Egg McMuffin. Cracked right there, cooked in a ring mold on the griddle. Fresh. Real. No additives. Just an egg, everything else on the breakfast menu? Different story entirely. The folded eggs you get on biscuit sandwiches and McGriddles, those are pre-cooked in a factory, flash frozen, shipped to your local McDonald's, and reheated on the grill before they land in your sandwich. The ingredient list for those eggs includes the egg itself, plus non-fat milk, modified food starch, salt, and citric acid. My cousin works the early shift at a food supplier. She told me the folded eggs arrive in sealed trays, stacked like poker chips. They come out of the bag looking already cooked, because they were cooked weeks ago, somewhere in another state. But here's the part that really got me. The scrambled eggs, the ones on the breakfast platter, those are poured from a carton. Marked, and I am not making this up, liquid egg product. A McDonald's worker posted a video of it on TikTok in 2022 and the internet briefly lost its mind. The video has since been deleted. Now, to be fair, these are real eggs. McDonald's is not lying about that. Real eggs were cracked to make that liquid. But those eggs were cracked in a factory, pasteurized, mixed with citric acid as a preservative, and then put in a carton that traveled however many miles to your local McDonald's where someone pours it on a hot grill. McDonald's has confirmed this process directly on their own website, by the way. They're not hiding it. They just don't lead with it. The most perfectly round, perfectly identical egg you've ever seen at 7 in the morning, came from a bag. And somehow that's the least surprising thing we've covered so far. Because if the eggs are engineered to look perfect, the ice cream situation is a whole other level of wild. Sorry, our ice cream machine is down. 6 words. They have probably crushed more dreams than any high school rejection letter in American history, and at this point we've all just accepted it. We laugh about it. We meme about it, but here's where it stops being funny. This situation involves federal regulators, multiple lawsuits, a secretive tech startup, and a machine manufacturer that appears to have deliberately engineered the problem. Here's what actually happened. McDonald's partnered with a company called Taylor to supply soft-serve machines starting in 1956. The specific model, called the C602, requires a 4-hour daily pasteurization cycle to kill bacteria that build up in the dairy lines. During that cycle, the machine cannot serve ice cream. That's why it's broken so often at night. But the real issue goes much deeper than a cleaning schedule. Taylor engineered these machines with proprietary error codes. More than 20 different codes, each requiring specific troubleshooting steps that only Taylor-certified technicians could perform. Employees couldn't fix them. Franchise owners couldn't fix them. And those technicians charge up to $300 for the first 15 minutes of a repair visit. iFixit, the independent repair research organization, published a detailed investigation accusing Taylor of deliberately writing vague error codes to generate more repair calls. A startup called KYTCH built a device that could decode those error messages and let franchise owners actually troubleshoot their own machines. McDonald's and Taylor moved to block it. KYTCH sued, alleging Taylor had reverse-engineered their device and spread false safety concerns to protect their repair revenue. The Federal Trade Commission opened an investigation in 2021. Data from McBroken.com, a website that exists solely to track which McDonald's ice cream machines are working in real time, shows that on any given day, between 5 and 16% of U.S. locations cannot serve ice cream. In New York City, that number has hit 25%. There are tech startups. Federal investigations. Franchise owners losing money every single week. And somewhere in the middle of all of this, a Taylor machine is charging $300 per 15 minutes to keep a McFlurry from happening. Yay, victory. But here's the catch, at least the fries are always available. Though after what I found out about those fries, you might not feel so great about that either. Let's talk about McDonald's fries. Specifically, why they don't rot. A food blogger named Morgan ran a simple experiment last year. She put McDonald's fries and homemade fries side by side on her kitchen counter and photographed them every single day. By day 7, Her homemade fries had visible mold and smelled like a biology classroom after a long weekend. By day 30, they were completely unrecognizable. The McDonald's fries at day 60, still golden. Slightly shrunken, but structurally intact and golden. She posted the photos. The internet reacted exactly like you'd expect. Now here's why it happens. McDonald's fries go through a 19-step process before they ever reach a restaurant fryer. They're blanched, dried, par-fried, frozen, and shipped. By the time they're served to you, the moisture content is low enough that bacteria have very little to work with. A medium serving also packs 400 milligrams of sodium, salt being a natural preservative that actively pulls remaining moisture from the surface. Here's a number to give you some scale. McDonald's sells approximately 9 million pounds of French fries every single day worldwide. That's roughly 3.3 billion pounds per year. They are, by volume, the single best-selling item on the entire menu globally, and from a health standpoint, that medium serving at 400 milligrams of sodium means you've already used up 17% of your daily recommended limit before you've touched anything else on your tray. Add a Big Mac at 1010 milligrams of sodium. Add a medium Coke. And a single McDonald's combo meal can put you at or above half your entire daily sodium allowance in one sitting. The American Heart Association is very clear on this. High sodium intake is directly linked to high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. The average American is already consuming about 3,400 milligrams of sodium per day, well above the recommended 2,300 limit. McDonald's isn't the only reason. But for 54 visits a year, it adds up in ways most people never think to calculate. But if the fries are the body of the menu, the McNuggets are its soul. And the soul has an interesting story. McNuggets, the thing every American has eaten at 4 in the morning with zero regrets and full commitment. Here's what McDonald's actually says is in them, and I went directly to their website for this. Since 2003, McDonald's Chicken McNuggets are made with all white meat chicken, breast, tenderloin, and rib meat. The chicken is ground, mixed with a marinade for flavor and to help it hold its shape, formed into 4 specific shapes, coated in a light tempura batter, par-fried, frozen, and then fully fried at the restaurant before being served to you. The 4 shapes bell, boot, ball, and bone were engineered for optimal dipping surface-to-body ratio, and I want to read you something McDonald's actually put on their official website about why there are 4 shapes. They wrote, quote, 3 would have been too few. 5 would have been, like, wacky. Someone got paid a full salary to write that sentence. God bless America. Now here's where it gets more layered. The McNugget itself, the chicken part, has been largely cleaned up. McDonald's removed artificial preservatives, including dimethyl polysiloxane from the recipe, back in 2016. That was a real change and worth acknowledging. The current McNugget does not list that ingredient. But the batter that surrounds the chicken contains a range of modified starches, leavening agents, and binders. And the frying oil used in the restaurant still contains citric acid as a processing aid. A food scientist explained it well. McNuggets are real chicken, but processed far enough from its original state that what your brain is actually registering is the specific combination of salt, fat, and the engineered texture of that batter, not chicken. In blind taste tests, most people identify the flavor profile before they identify the protein source. We're tasting the engineering, not the ingredient. From a delivery driver's perspective, I talked to one who's done thousands of late-night McNugget orders. He put it perfectly. Nobody ordering McNuggets at 2 in the morning is thinking about the ingredient list. They're thinking about which sauce ratio hits the hardest. That's a different kind of devotion. Which, honestly, is fair. But if the McNuggets represent the heart of the menu, what you haven't heard yet is what McDonald's does to your mind before you even look at the menu board. Here's where things get genuinely uncomfortable. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't conspiracy, it's documented, researched, and in some cases published in peer-reviewed journals. McDonald's didn't become the most visited restaurant in America by accident. They became that by engineering every single point of contact between you and the brand to extract more money and more visits than you consciously intended. Start with the children. The Happy Meal was introduced in 1979. Not as a meal. As a marketing system. Research in consumer behavior is very clear on this. Children aged 3 to 12 are the primary target demographic, because that's the window in which brand loyalty forms at the neurological level. Get them before the prefrontal cortex is fully developed. before they can critically evaluate a purchase. Before they can say no to a toy tied to a meal. In just 10 days in 1997, McDonald's sold approximately 100 million Happy Meals thanks to a teeny beanie baby cross promotion. Not because the food was exceptional. Because the toy was a collectible and children were willing to drag their parents back 4, 5, 6 times to complete the set. That's not selling burgers. That's selling the compulsion to return. And the children who grew up doing that were the adults who now visit 54 times a year without fully knowing why it feels so automatic. Then there's the chemistry. Nearly everything on McDonald's menu contains some level of sugar, from the buns to the ketchup to the fries, which are briefly dipped in a sugar solution during processing to achieve that specific golden color. Research published in psychology and neuroscience journals has confirmed that combinations of fat, sugar, and salt trigger dopamine release in the brain's reward center, the same pathway activated by nicotine and certain recreational drugs. The brain doesn't distinguish between the source of the dopamine hit. It just registers the reward. And then it asks to repeat it. Studies have shown that rats given intermittent access to sugar solutions developed withdrawal-like symptoms when access was removed, binging harder on the next session. Increasing intake over time. Professor Ashley Gearhart at the University of Michigan, one of the leading researchers in food addiction, testified before the U.S. Senate in 2023 that ultra-processed foods containing these combinations are, for a significant portion of the population, genuinely addictive in a clinical sense. McDonald's is aware of this research. The industry is aware of this research. And yet the menu has been engineered around precisely these combinations for decades. Now add the colors. Red stimulates urgency and raises heart rate. Yellow is the most visible color in daylight. That's why you can spot those arches from half a mile away on a highway. Studies confirm that color accounts for up to 90% of a person's first impression of a brand. Add the smell. Those vents near the entrance pushing warm fry aroma toward you are positioned with intention. McDonald's has even deployed scented billboards in other countries that literally emit the smell of fries. Your brain processes smell before conscious thought. By the time you're deciding whether you're hungry, your limbic system has already voted. Add the menu layout. Consumer psychology research shows that customers scan menu boards in a predictable arc upper right first. McDonald's places its highest margin items exactly there. The value items are lower left, where your eyes land last, and then add the combo meal. Here's the math nobody runs at the counter. Buying items individually at McDonald's frequently costs less than ordering the combo. The combo exists not to save you money. It exists to create the feeling of saving money while spending more than you would have. It's the illusion of value, repeated millions of times per day across 13,500 US locations. Studies show 70% of McDonald's customers spend more on a visit than they planned when they walked in. The system is not malicious in the way a villain is malicious. It's just optimized. Optimized to the point where you're not really choosing McDonald's anymore. McDonald's is choosing you. So what actually happens when someone steps outside the system? My friend Derek decided to go 30 days without McDonald's. Not a dramatic health experiment, just a quiet personal test to see if he was actually choosing it or just defaulting to it. Day 3, his car almost turned into the drive-thru on its own. His words were, "My hands just started moving." That automatic pull, the one that kicks in before your conscious brain has weighed in, is not a personality flaw. It is the predictable output of years of consistent conditioning. Dopamine pathways don't care about your intentions. They care about patterns. By week 2, things he hadn't expected started shifting. The low-grade puffiness in his face that he'd just accepted as his normal face gone. His skin cleared up. He assumed it was a coincidence until his doctor's appointment at day 25. His blood pressure had dropped measurably. His doctor asked what had changed. Derek said he'd stopped eating McDonald's. His doctor nodded in a way that said he had heard some version of this story before and was not surprised. By day 30, Derek had dropped 9 pounds without changing a single other variable. No gym. No tracking. No meal prep. Just removed one automatic habit from his week. The roughly $200 a month he'd been spending there, saved. Not exactly retirement money, but that's a car payment. Or 4 tanks of gas. Or a month of groceries for one person. Does Derek still eat McDonald's? Sometimes. He's human. But it's a conscious decision now, not an autopilot response to an environment McDonald's spent decades engineering. As he put it, it's like that ex who was never good for you. You might grab coffee once in a while, but you're not giving them a key to your house again. Here's where we land. Every American who eats McDonald's, all 87% of us, deserves to make that choice with full information. Not with a marketing system running in the background that was built by researchers who understood brain chemistry, habit loops, and childhood development better than most parents do. The goal of this video was never to tell you what to do. You're an adult. You get to decide what you put in your body and where you spend your money, but you deserve to decide with your eyes open. So, do you think McDonald's has gone too far with how they've engineered this experience? Or is this just business being business? Drop your answer in the comments below. Yes or absolutely not. I want to know where you stand, and if this video gave you something to think about, something you didn't know before you clicked play, subscribe. Because this is what we do here. We look behind the things that feel normal, and ask why. I'll see you in the next one.